Welcome to Oldsmob 455. Got a special treat for you guys. Looking at a 69 Firebird 400. It's for you, Louie, and all you Pontiac nuts out there. It's a 4-speed car.
At the dealership, at this time, vinyl tops were really hot. So if they got a car that didn't have it, they had a spray-on system, and these are these little tracks that made it look like there was a seam.
Yes, so this is a 69 Firebird 400 4-speed. Well, like every 69 Pontiac, it's Verdoro green. You can't have a 69 Pontiac unless it's carousel red. It's got to be Verdoro green as the alternate. Anyways, numbers car front to back, and been off the road since 1980. For those of you guys who live near Milwaukee, a famous Pontiac dealer called Ernie von Schledorn sold this new. Inherited it from my good friend Dave. She's alive. So brake lines, fuel fuel tank, engine stuff. I haven't opened up the engine at all, but I had the original carb restored, and it's proper. It's got all the weird stuff. It's actually got a factory power steering cooler, which only the Trans Ams came standard with. So 331-ish safety track axle, wide ratio, 1C 4-speed, which is the order of the day, so it's a little bit fugly, but so I can start it up. It's the original, or I believe the original owner drove it until 1980. He lived on about 35th and Meineke, and so he put what to do for the dwell and all that stuff, and timing and things like that, and in the console is his pipe tamper and stuff like that, and he was obviously a Second Amendment enthusiast. I think he actually may have been a Vietnam vet, came home in '69 and got the car, kind of that classic story. Replacing the brake lines on this car is actually really a challenge, because one of the brake lines goes between the steering box and the frame rail, so it was just a zoo. But the this little dude right here is a delay valve that is used on 69 Pontiac disc brake cars, and I think early 1970, like calendar year built 69 1970 cars, and it basically helps the rear end from locking up, because the disc brakes are better than drums, so the car noses over, the back wheels lock, and then you skid out. I want to thank my friend Larry in Texas, actually, who helped me with that. In fact, Larry is a large part of the reason why this thing is at this point. I want to definitely give a shout out to my man Larry. Basically, it's going to stay this way. I'm not restoring it. I don't have a desire to restore the car as much as just to drive it as it was last seen in 1980 on the streets of Milwaukee. My friend Dave, who I inherited this from, was a 69 Pontiac collector, and so this was one of his projects that he never got around to. And so other friends of Dave and Pontiac brothers in the Milwaukee area all know who Dave was, and so he left this car to me in his will, which was a very generous thing to do. Last year I put some reproduction bias ply tires on it, and a mandrel bent dual exhaust kit. I want to thank my friend Aaron for that. Did a super job.
So this is a true 400 car, but not a HO 400 car, right?
Yeah, so there were two HO levels in 69. There was the standard 400 offering. I don't know what the horsepower ratings were. It doesn't really matter because they were underrated. They actually put a restrictor on the throttle linkage to not compete with the performance of GTO that year, from what I'm told. So this is a base model 400, so it does not have the long branch. It's not a Ram Air car or any of that stuff. But it's just the kind of the quintessential 69 Pontiac. I mean, it's a 400 4-speed hood tack, rally wheels, cruiser, and I am going to start doing that.
Yeah. That was a trick with guys that worked on their Pontiacs, and they looked in the carburetor and they flipped them to full throttle. All of a sudden they're seeing that the secondaries weren't opening all the way. And all you did is just bend a piece of linkage on the throttle.
Got it all.
And you get it all, and all of a sudden you had a lot more horsepower than when you had stock.
Right. So I'll start it up. I got to replace the carpeting in here and stuff like that, but prop.
Oh.
Make a liar out of me now.
It's got a license on it though. Let me close the door.
Shuts nice.
We can get these little bits out. Why don't you take the panels off and just work these out with a spoon? And
That's
then
the story, though, you know.
take the door panel. Yeah, but you can knock them out so that they look a little less
Flatter.
This is an original hood tack car?
Yeah. Yeah, there's brakes in front.
This is from the door.
Possibly, maybe there's a misalignment in the fender or something.
And this car's like a time capsule. He even kept
A book of stuff.
the log from whoever owned this car. It's like they're calculating fuel mileage, maybe?
Yeah, I thought there was a record in there where he was driving from New York somewhere to Milwaukee, maybe something like that.
So 14.5 miles a gallon? Yeah, there's a little note in the beginning of it. It's pretty cool.
It's got spare parts in the back seat. You got a whole dash.
Yeah, I gotta replace all the crusty stuff. So the kick panels I've got holes in them from the '70s stereo. This is all ripped out. These panels are kind of hard to find, so I got another one of these. And kick panels, I'm gonna recarpet it and just make it a clean, comfortable car to cruise around in.
Is this hard plastic?
Yeah, this is actually literally just plastic.
Yeah, you had to put manifolds on it because the originals were cracked, but these are just like the originals.
Yeah, the full-size Pontiacs and the Firebirds shared that same long branch manifold versus GTO, where they had long branch, or they weren't long branch, but they had the 4-tube, 4-into-1 kind of deal, but they won't work on Firebirds.
He had this car restored and replated. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's a non-AC car.
Yeah. I need an alternator. The original I have in the trunk in a box. It's the open face 10SI. Very hard to find part. This is the original flex fan. I have the original heater fan shroud in the trunk. So it's just been kind of a labor of love. But so I'm going to probably take this off and put a Flexolite on it because I don't know if these are known to grenade or anything like that. I could stand to not lose my arm if that thing's spinning when I'm under it. Yeah, so these suckers have seen
How many miles are on the car?
only about 100. But he must have had an OCD problem. He'd rub these in his pocket or something like that when he wasn't driving it. Here, obviously, I got the original water pump. This still has the original cone snout brake rotors too, which are pretty hard to find. Kept all the original exhaust hangers and whatnot.
That ain't the original spare, is it?
Yeah, that's the original Space Saver back there.
Really?
Yeah, there's a little aerosol can that you can fill it up with and stuff. So this is the open face that they talk about. They, them. And
Purists.
yeah, so and I would have used this, but then when I went to disconnect this thing right here, this is super rusty, so who knows what the condition of the regulator is inside. So I just cheap insurance, and I'll just hang on to this and have it rebuilt. So one thing this car does have, besides the dealer add-on painted vinyl top, is it has a reverb unit. So it was a popular thing prior to
radio.
Yeah, before stereo came along. The reverb unit acts as a very brief delay, and it gives you a little kind of an echoey effect on the music you're listening to. So I found that in there. What's interesting, Pontiac Historic Services certification on this car does not show that. So I'm kind of thinking that might have been a dealer add-on, kind of like an upsell for the buyer. And I've got a couple of original radios for this car. So the one that's in there I have not tested yet. So, but it'll definitely get a ready rad as soon as the radio's working. No, so right now there's no speakers in the back. This is sort of strange to me. I don't know these cars too well. I'm a full-size Pontiac guy mostly, but one is a speaker clearly. This might have been just there as a placeholder. I don't know if any of you guys watching this, you can comment on why one is like this. Is this wrong? Is this something that a prior owner did? I don't know. I'd be interested in your feedback. And of course, you might be
CB radios.
You gotta be old enough to know what that means right there. That is the CB mount. Mag mount for a talking breaker 19. So and then GTOs had the Pontiac.
My brother put V
It's got a limited slip differential on it. What is this thing?
This is a Criterion Ambulance by Superior Coachworks. The Ghostbusters car was also a Criterion. This is a 62 Pontiac Bonneville-based Criterion Ambulance. Superior built 68 cars like this. This is the standard roof. I have a second one actually. I've got 2 of the 68. This is I'm going to be building the car off of this relatively rust-free car, believe it or not. The other one I have is the only of the 68 they built. They built one with a stick shift, and I own that one. And that one's got the optional roof that's got all the lights like you might remember from Ghostbusters. So this is one of 68. The stick twin I have is one of 1. So this is going to be the radio rescue squad for the Ready Rad business.
Cool.
Yeah, this guy is the CEO of Ready Rad.
ReadyRad.com. Made in USA. It's a pretty snappy car, actually. What I should do is I should get some gas.
It's not working. Pretty California, guys. That salt spray comes up off the wheel there.
See, a lot of guys had wood grain. It was tape. It would look like you had wood on the side. And once you tore, the water got behind it and rusted out.
Whoever invented this needs to be shot.
Let's get first gear. There we go. Seems pretty well behaved with the bias plies too. I wasn't sure what I was gonna. I haven't driven a car with bias plies in a long time, so you know, there's the usual road wander. You just get used to it, just sack up and deal with it. The tires look better than radials, in my opinion.